Hey everyone, welcome to another video. This is going to be quite a long one, so you're going to definitely need a notepad out and maybe even break this down into sessions. But the reason I'm doing this, again, I've had a lot of people want me to do a video on how to climb with Assassin specifically, because I've done now one with Orianna, climbing in Platinum to Diamond with Orianna. Now I'm going to do, this video is going to be actually be breaking into 3 specific clips. I'm going to have one, whereas 2 Fizz games, and 1 Qiyana game. And in this video, these are the points that I'm going to really kind of drill down. And these are the things you're really going to learn. I'm going to highlight the mistakes of laners that I versed in around high platinum, low diamond. So things that you can avoid, hopefully, after watching this video. How I actually break down my plan with each and every single wave. Like, how do I know actually what I'm doing and what I look for? And how do I even get to that point? The next, I want to talk about playing in accordance to my cooldowns and summoners. And then lastly, I want to be talking about how to actually push leads in mid-game. And we're not just talking like, 15 minutes. We're talking, okay, once the towers are broken, you're going into the side lane. What do you need to do step by step? And I kind of don't want to pause again. I don't want to pause these VODs early on. I want to actually run them through, show you how I actually end a game with a lead. Because, there's one whole element of the game is actually getting a lead on a champion like Fizz or Qiyana. But the second element is how do you actually end? Because you're not a super hyper carry that's going to just 1v5. You need to be very smart. So in this video, that's what I'm going to be covering. So let's dive straight in. So in this first VOD, guys, I'm going to be playing Fizz versus Lissandra, which is a bit of a tricky matchup. And I thought I would actually like to highlight one of these matchups because rather than playing a super hard counter or a really easy matchup, let's make it a little bit tricky and actually say how I navigate a lane like this. So again, I'm not going to be going too in-depth on the micro. I want to be focused more holistically and give you actual advice on what you can do in your own games. Because again, I've covered the micro a lot in a lot of my videos. You can go back and look at them. So majority, again, in terms of the jungle matchup, it's important to highlight we're versing Lissandra Jarvan, which is a very deadly combo. And Lissandra also took Ignite, which is crucial information. I have an Echo, Fizz Echo. It's quite weak early on. So it's going to be, I have to be very careful, at least levels, 1, 2, and 3. So again, I'm just going to have to give the waves in the early lane and try and minimize and get as much CS as I can without taking as much damage, minimize the amount of damage I'm taking. So Lissandra's actually playing this quite smart. Obviously, this is a high elo game. These are all high plat, low diamond games, so they actually kind of know what they're doing. So Lissandra is actually slow building a wave, looking to poke me constantly with her Comet, and I'm trying now to find a way to navigate and to try and CS without taking too much damage, which is quite difficult. So I've actually accepted reality that I'm probably going to miss a bunch of CS in this early portion. And in these games, guys, I don't play these games perfectly, which I think it's important to note as well. But I actually like that I don't play perfectly because it makes it more natural in terms of show you some of my mistakes that I make and things that you can also learn from me. So straight away, Lissandra's done the right thing. Slow build waves into me, trying to constantly look for poke with Q. But I just catch a bunch of these creeps under tower. I'm actually quite far behind in CS. Look at this, 5 CS to 11, which is well played to Lissandra. Right now, she's constantly angling me, poking with the Comet. Not much I can do. So for me right now, what I'm thinking is, well, look. Actually, something I did not cover, guys, and I think it's actually super important. Level 1, I actually warded the dot brush. Why did I choose to ward level 1 at the dot brush? Well, I know that I'm not going to be able to ward anytime soon in the early portion of this laning phase because I know I'm most likely going to be pushed in. Secondly, Jarvan can invade my jungler. Jarvan's a very strong early jungler. I would do the exact same versus Elise, versus Lissandra, versus Jarvan, or Olaf, any of these champions that could potentially invade my jungler. And look at this, because of that ward I put level 1, it's actually seen Jarvan, and now Echo now can respond appropriately, knowing that Jarvan's going to be invading the jungle. And I'm doing this because I really don't want to take an early skirmish because I'm going to be getting pushed in. So that is, using your brain. And a lot of my other VODs, guys, I don't ward level 1 because I know most likely I'm going to have pressure. I'm going to be pushing. I'm playing Syndra or something like that. I need my ward to be able to poke them under tower and allow me to push my limits. So I'm just catching waves. Now I'm getting level 3. I really want to play to level 3 because level 3 is when I can start to be playing a little bit more aggressive here. And notice this straight away, guys. As this cannon creep was going low, I was trying to maneuver this way to try and force Lissandra to make a decision. Do you want this cannon that badly that you're going to take a chunk from me? Or are you going to respect and miss the cannon? So I put him into this position. I heavy trade onto him, my E, proc my electrocute, and force him to back up a little bit here. So that's just pretty standard gameplay at the moment. Now this skirmish is breaking out. This is a little bit sketchy because my cooldowns are so long. And I don't have, right now, if we pause it, Lissandra's come to this fight first. I don't really have my, I don't have my Q, I don't have my E. This is not looking good right now. So then they go into this echo, they kill him. My E's on 2 seconds. Someone's auto-attacking. Now look at this. Lissandra flash rooted me. So even though my E is coming up in 0.4 seconds, I actually can't use my E as soon as it comes up. Because look, as soon as I unpause this video, I'm still going to be rooted. So I can't E. Unfortunately, I trade back a kill onto Jarvan. But now it's a 2-for-1. Lissandra has double buffs. Not looking good in this lane. 17 CS to 7. It's an absolute, this is probably the worst case scenario as Fizz. Fiora kind of comes to roam for some reason and, can't really do anything to Lissandra. But not looking good. So what should we see from Lissandra right now, guys? We should see Lissandra looking to shove this wave in, recall, and buy items. That's 100% what we see. Because gold doesn't mean anything unless you spend it, guys. Gold, that's a massive misconception here. And especially since this Lissandra thinks she's got doubles, I can just sustain in this lane. If she were to stay in this lane, that means I'm just going to be able to minimize, get to my level 6, wait for my ignite to come back and back up and actually farm up. But if Lissandra were to base right now, she's going to come back with, who knows, maybe a lost chapter, maybe even Merc treads or something like that. Anything actually can just poke me out. It's going to be really, really annoying. And on top of it, the next wave that was coming out was actually a cannon wave. So she had plenty of time to recall. But, so this is the first mistake from Lissandra. She feels as though it's better to utilize her doubles and sustain in this lane, and kind of, maybe because she had Ignite and not TP, she felt like she couldn't come back. This is a complete misjudgment on her behalf. So now I recognize this. I'm like, oh, well, cool. You haven't based. So I actually have an item advantage over you and a health pot advantage. So I'm just going to use this opportunity to just chill and minimize. So I use this opportunity just to chill and minimize. And yes, why I love this VOD, guys, is because it has gotten a little bit sketchy in the early game. Lissandra's got this double buff. She's going to have a lot of gold. My Echo kind of got screwed over in the early game. My top wasn't necessarily winning. My bot wasn't necessarily winning. It was a tough game. And I love these ones. So now Lissandra's looking to just poke. And what I want to do ideally is I ideally want to keep the wave in this nice little juicy pocket here, because this is good for 2 reasons. It's going to create opportunities to gank this Lissandra, given that she doesn't have flash. And the other reason it's quite good is because I'm quite safe from Jarvan ganks, because they actually have decent setup, especially when Lissandra hits 6. And the other reason is I'm just completely, and the other thing what I can do is I can start to walk past a minion wave, which is going to create pressure onto this Lissandra and prevent her from actually shoving these back creeps, so I can keep it in this nice little pocket. It's like I'm doing right now. I'm not just playing like a complete bitch. And then Echo comes, forces her back a little bit, forces her to use her E. Nothing too big is happening, but what is happening is that the lane is now getting extended, because in my mind, this is the same for Qiyana, same for Fizz, same for a lot of these assassins. I really want to get to my level 6, and I want to get to my Ignite. I'm waiting on my Ignite and my level 6. That's what I really want to get to. So I'm completely content with the pace that this lane is going in. And yes, it might be difficult for me to kill Lissandra when she hits 6 if she plays the wave correctly, but I'm not really too fussed about that. I'm focused on my own game, because I can always kill a side lane. And this is the exact same if I was versing a Vlad. Maybe it would be difficult for me to kill this Lissandra or this Vladimir 1v1, but I know that eventually, once I base, I'm going to be able to push her out and roam into sides like I do this game. So again, Echo's constantly forcing her back, forcing her to E, because I'm keeping the wave in such a nice little juicy pocket here. And now, this is my first big mistake of this game. So I see Jarvan in the river there, but I was assuming, since Kennen solo killed my top laner, mid still has double buffs. It's a little bit sketchy. I didn't think we won this 2v2 quite yet, given that I still don't have Ignite, I don't have Ultimate. I don't think we win this skirmish, and I know Kennen could probably respond to this fight before our Fiora, who is still dead. So what I actually tried to do is actually try to play for this wave, force Lissandra back a bit. I'm like, wait, Echo's actually contesting this fight? And so this fight actually breaks out. So I'm like, all right, I'm just going to have to come and, you know, potentially help this Jarvan. I dodge the Q here, Q through, get a nice little kill, back out. This is absolutely brilliant for me. Now, Lissandra doesn't have flash, doesn't have E. Echo's able to kind of navigate, like push her back into river. Fiora's going to come down, cut off her escape, and they end up killing the Lissandra, which means I can just focus on getting the wave at the moment. Because I know I don't need to chase her. So I focus on getting the wave. Bang, this is really, really good for me. So now I'm 2-1. Lissandra doesn't have teleport. We won that nice little skirmish there because we just happened to outplay, which is the strength of Fizz. You can outplay these early skirmishes. It is what it is. So now this is where the game will get juicy, and this is where, as Fizz, you've got kills, you've got a few tools. It's absolutely essential you use this advantage to do something that's actually going to impact the game. So this is where it gets interesting. This is where I really want to break down here. So now I've got my ultimate. I've got my Ignite, and I actually experiment with a different build path this game, guys. I've never done this before on Fizz, but what I actually think is like, well, they have a cannon, they have this Lissandra. I feel like if I actually just rush Merc Treads, I'm going to be unkillable this game. That's how I felt. I felt I'm going to be unkillable because Jarvan has no threat on me. And Lissandra is the only person who can actually lock me down. So I'm like, if I get Mercs, let's see what happens. And I felt like I wanted to experiment with this. So anyway, straight away I'm thinking, what's happening with the wave as I'm walking back? Well, it's slow pushing out to me, or it's pushing out to me. Lissandra's hard pushing it to me. And I've got 6. I've got Ignite. I know Lissandra doesn't have Flash. That's what I'm thinking in my mind. But I know that Lissandra has 6. What is the biggest mistake already that I'm seeing here with Lissandra? She didn't slow push. She actually when this wave was at her tower just before, let me actually go back a little bit here. She was using a bunch of her abilities on the wave. Look at this. So she wasn't just slow auto attacking and last hitting. She was auto attacking a lot. She was queuing the wave. And what this is actually, and why this is a big mistake from Lissandra, is that she didn't account and use the information about the minion's location. That will this crash into tower? Can Fizz actually freeze it on his side? So because Lissandra failed to identify that, I actually get to keep the wave on my side, or at least somewhat on my side for a little bit, because these range creeps actually don't crash into the tower. So I'm completely... Why this is really good for me now is that Lissandra is a very low range champion. She has to either walk up quite close to Q. Yes, she has her E to escape, and she has her ultimate. But I know it's the exact same if I was versing a Vladimir. If I know now I've got a long lane, I've got a lot of space to be able to chase her down, force her to use her E, which is then going to create an opportunity because her E cooldown is really, really long, same as Vladimir W. So what do? As soon as she walks up to try and get some CS, I chase her down the lane, get a nice little bit of poke off, force her E. So that's step 1 for me. I'm like, okay, now she has no escape. And the wave is still in this really good position. So what I would do, and what she should have done, is accept reality that it's actually going to slow push out to her, maybe miss a few creeps, try and stay at max range, potentially XP range, but she had to accept reality. But now she's in this position where, again, it's slow pushing. She has to be patient. Now I know that there's a long lane. She's quite low. I have ultimate Ignite. This is my opportunity to all in. I Q off a minion because I've kept the wave in such a good spot. She hasn't respected. I've got my E, auto W, Ignite, she's dead. And this is why having intention with your wave is absolutely crucial from both ends. I knew exactly what I wanted to do because this wave position is coherent with the identity of Fizz. Fizz is a champion that needs a long distance to all in. You need to view it in 2 steps. Can I either 100-0 blow this guy up in one combo without having to blow her gap closer, or do I need to blow her gap closer first, back up a little bit, then rinse and repeat, knowing that once she doesn't have the gap closer, I can kill her. And remember, look at this, guys. This is all, I'm already preparing all this coming out of base. I'm looking at my key abilities. I'm looking at my Ignite. I know that she doesn't have Flash. I'm looking at my ultimate. All these things, the wave positioning, I'm assessing all this and creating the conditions for me to set up this solo kill. It's not just by chance. And this is how playing League of Legends this way makes it quite replicable. This is how you can consistently get leads playing these sorts of champions, by understanding the conditions where leads are kind of created in the first place. So now, what do? I need to get this wave in, and I need to reset ASAP to spend my gold to replenish my resources so I can start to impact the map again. So I use my E, again, get the wave, reset. Yes, Jarvan holds the wave. I actually couldn't care less because Lissandra does not want to freeze against the Fizz. I know Lissandra is going to want to push, reset the wave, and constantly kind of keep me in lane. So I couldn't care less, honestly. It's more important for me. I value my tempo way higher than her freezing. Now, what do? I come back, get my double amp tomb because I really want to work towards my proto belt. I've got a pink ward in the bot side. And why do I put my pink ward in the bot side? Well, I have a Leona. Whenever I have a Leona in my mind, I'm always thinking, well, there should hypothetically be a lot of kill threat bot because Leona has the insane gank setup. So that's why I put my pink ward on the bot side. That's why I have pink wards on the bot side here. Brilliant. So now straight away, what am I thinking? How do I understand what am I to do with this wave? Well, what are the things I'm looking at? Straight away, bang. My ultimate cooldown, 30 seconds. Bang. Look at my ignite cooldown, 1 minute 55. These are absolutely crucial parts of information. So think of it as like you're like a lion in the savannah. I've used this before. Think about it. When a lion just, used all his energy to get his prey, he's feasted, he's replenished his energy, but it'll take a while to replenish your energy. You have to rest, you have to sleep, whatever. It's the exact same before. Fizz is exactly like a lion in the savannah. I hunted my prey, I used all my energy, all my abilities, all my everything in my kit to get that kill. But now I need to rest a little bit. I need to wait. I can't just all in constantly all the time. Otherwise, I'm not going to be able to get those kills. And like a lion would fail to get those kills. And then you end up slowly dying and you slowly lose out in the game. So that's the analogy I like to use when I play Fizz. These and Qiyana, these sorts of champions. So now I want to play patient. And what's the other reason? How do I know what to do with the wave? Well, I know right now my jungler's just reset. So I'm completely fine keeping it in this position. I know that I can't trade aggressively onto this guy. Yes, I have a bit of vision, so I may be able to play a little bit more aggressive than I would, but I'm completely fine conserving my mana, conserving my HP, waiting for Echo to get back on the map, and then waiting for my ultimate, waiting for my ignite to be able to set up a really, really good kill on people in this specific game. So I'm just completely happy, just chilling for now, keeping it in this nice little pocket of the lane. And now Jarvan, like you said, shows in river because my jungler's based. I know they're gonna get. I can't all in this guy. I have to just chill. And it's about using all the information that you're seeing. It's about looking at the jungle location, the supports location, the vision you have, your cooldowns. All of this is information that it's like ingredients. You're baking a cake. It's all these ingredients that will and create a final product at the end of it. So I'm just chilling. I'm just chilling in a nice little pocket. Lissandra can't poke me. And notice how I'm not completely playing like a bitch. Notice how I'm standing in line with the minions and constantly like tethering her range, because I know my Q range, my E range, it's quite big, and constantly making her scared, forcing her to, again, feel scared to walk up to use her Q on minions. And yes, although I'm not really going to look to all in her too much and not actually go for a kill because I know I can't kill her without ignite, what this is just doing is it's fainting pressure. It's not allowing her to break this free. It's not allowing her to push this wave and crash it into tower. And I'm pretending that my jungler's nearby and looking for a gank. She doesn't know the location of my jungler. Echo could just be sitting in the side bush or something. I'm pretty sure she doesn't have wards on top side. So this is why not playing like a complete bitch you can feint pressure, and actually this will help you keep the wave in the position where you want it to be. And I'm trying to force her all the way back. Get a little bit of poke off now, knowing that Jarvan just showed bot before. So what happened here? Yeah, Jarvan showed bot on that pink ward, so which means I can play a little bit more aggressive here. And now my Echo is starting to get back on the map. And straight away, what are the signs I'm looking at? Well, my AD carry just died. Jarvan showed bot side. So what does this mean for me? This means that I can freely roam topside, knowing that Jarvan's not going to be there to counter gank, knowing that Lissandra doesn't have TP to counter gank. She can't follow me into river. So what do I start doing once I recognize this? Look at me. I start auto attacking the wave a lot more. I start to try and get this wave in as fast as I can because I need to make a counterplay on the other side of the map. So what do? I try and push Lissandra back as much as I can so she can't thin this wave, either wave, and move. This is the exact same you do with a lot of champions like Vlad, etc. This is exactly how you navigate. Straight away, I path onto top side. I know Jarvan's bot. They're getting bot tower. Yes, my AD carry is getting fucked, but it doesn't matter because now I can punish this top laner. Straight away, I'm pinging, and I type in chat, does he have ultimate? Asking the crucial bits of information. What I do, I navigate, I close the gap, close the angle. I don't come in and ult from there. I close the angle here, so it's a lot easier for me to get this ultimate. So force cannon against the wall, get a nice little ultimate. Yes, he could have flashed it, but he still would have died in the end of it anyway. So we get a nice little kill. So now I'm 4-1. I'm starting to help my Fiora now, who got solo killed. This is going to really help my Fiora get back into the game. He blew flash, he blew ultimate. It was absolutely massive. Resetting, getting back on the map, thinking about my my next item. So I really want to be working towards my my proto belt. So now assessing the situation. I'm constantly looking at the waves. What's going on here? Look at the mid wave. Look at the bot wave. What's going on? So something again I'm thinking about is I don't have ultimate. So again, I need to just take that. I need to take that into consideration. I don't have ultimate. I can't all in this Lissandra. I need to be a little bit more defensive than I normally would if I did have ultimate. So Lissandra, I ping that Lissandra moves here. They get kind of caught in river, I believe. I think the Leona ends up dying. It is what it is. End up trying to somewhat chase just in case an extended trade comes out, but you know, nothing happens. So I try to deny as much CS as Lissandra as I can. And then we see Jarvan walk into our bot side jungle. So I instantly respond. Because this is exactly what Fizz wants. Fizz wants to collapse on someone in an awkward position. Because these sorts of river and jungle skirmishes are so good for Fizz. He's so sneaky. And yeah, Jarvan you know, gets caught out in the jungle. I'm here ready to respond. And bang, I get a nice little kill on the back end of it. Pretty self-explanatory. Nothing too special. Now, go back mid. What do I see? Lissandra's trying to clear my pink. And again, I have my pink. I re-pink on bot side here for a reason. Because again, I think the thing that I was thinking about in this game was potentially looking to play for a dragon. Since we already got one dragon in this game, I believe. And we want to play for a second one. Echo gets a nice little stun. And we end up killing him. Nothing too special. So let's fast forward a little bit here. Again, what is my identity right now? I don't have Ignite, but I have Ultimate. A fight breaks out. I want to be constantly looking to push, deny CS, and attend these side skirmishes. Fast forwarding this, I actually missed my ultimate on this Jarvan, so I have to back up and reset and get my proto belt. Not too important here. I get my blue buff. Now, having my pinks on bot side, we can start stacking these dragons. So Echo can use this. Okay, so one actually key concept that I haven't really mentioned on my channel too much. So, you know, when we talk about pressure and we talk about vision control and the importance of vision control. Well, this game really, really highlights it. So let's just say, you know, you're the enemy team right now. I got my blue buff here and notice how I'm in river on a pink ward. Now what happens, their bot lane has to respect and play respectfully because they don't know where I am. I could be looping around. I could be in river. I could be looking to respond. So they can't all in my bot lane. But it's the exact same for Lissandra. Now, when I go back to mid and I do shove in these waves, and then I you know, get the wave and I walk into river like this, Lissandra doesn't know what I'm doing. They don't know whether I'm camping in the side brush looking to all in. They don't know if I'm fully committing bot. And Lissandra doesn't want to face, or Jarvan doesn't want to face check the river. They don't know what I'm doing. So even though I'm protecting, I'm hovering my jungle doing dragon. So what Vision can do, it makes it so difficult and so limiting for the enemy mid laner to respond. They don't know what to do. They don't even know if me and Echo are just sitting in the side brush looking to gank them or something like that, you know? Anyway, fast forwarding a little bit, I hover for the dragon, and again, I'm looking to constantly push and respond to these sides. You know, again, just cleaning up stuff in the side lane. So let's fast forward this game a little bit. Again, I get kind of out of control because again, I'm super fed, so on and so forth. So what I want to do is get to the mid game a little bit here to kind of show you a few things. So fast forward, whatever, I'm getting more kills. Let's get to the mid game. So it's 18 minutes. Now my AD carry is mid. So this is where I get a lot of questions. How do I push my lead? So a few things you need to think about here. You want to be on the side. You want to be, okay, so in this specific game, Dragon was coming up in a minute 10, but my Fiora was already bot. So I'm like, okay, if I shove top all the way deep, I know I'm going to have enough time to shove this top deep and then be able to respond and be ready for this dragon as it spawns. Generally, what you want to be doing in side lanes is you want to be able to pushing, making the enemy mid laner respond to you, and then getting to mid first before them and creating a man advantage. So what I'm trying to do right now is make someone show. I want someone to show on this side wave. And because this is going to, again, allow me then when I move to have that man advantage, and also, if someone doesn't show, then they're going to be missing a bunch of CS. So, and the thing you need to think about here, if I'm scared that they're going to get engaged on, what I would do first is come down mid first, get my vision down with them, help them shove out the wave, then attend to a side lane, knowing that my AD carry and support who are sitting mid have enough vision control to be able to play safely while I shove out the side lane. So now I'm just shoving out the side at the moment. Now I'm pushing through. Now Kennen has to respond to that wave that I prepared. Unfortunately, our support's not in position here to capitalize on this fight. That would have been good, but I get a kill and get out. But you can kind of see the premise here. I really want... Now Kennen had to respond to that wave. Wasn't at this fight straight away. I'm able to get a kill and get out. It should have been a lot cleaner. And now Fiora's doing the same thing on the bot side. But this is how you get really, really far ahead of your counterpart. So again, fast forwarding this, I want to be playing around the objective as it spawns. But now that I use my ultimate, I don't have my ultimate, I don't have ignite. I don't want to be dragged into any of these fights. You need to be very, very... strict on the fights you take on Fizz, because if you get dragged into these skirmishes where you can't 100-0 anyone and you're not in a position to assassinate, you're just going to die, and it's going to be really, really rough. So sometimes you got to say no, sacrifice a member, because if I were to use my ultimate and not get a kill, it's limiting my ability to snowball the game. And again, I just want to be playing around these objectives, fast forwarding a little bit, and we kind of end this game. So the next VOD, here, the next VOD I actually highlight the side laning a much better. But the main thing we can take from this one is having an identity with your lane, knowing how to play each and every wave, the amount of discipline that I had in this game around my ultimate and my ignite cooldown, and how I kind of spread my lead, looked for opportunities, play patient when my jungler wasn't there. So now in this next VOD, we'll do the same thing, but also go a little bit more in detail in terms of the side laning. So let's keep pumping it out, guys. Alright, and this VOD is actually Fizz versus Zilean, which can be a little bit tricky. But the better thing is I actually have a Lissandra and they have a Rengar, which means we're going to have a lot more 2v2 control, in my opinion, than we would have otherwise. I actually thought I was versing a Mordekaiser mid. I thought the Mordekaiser mid was to counter me, but that's why I actually started W. So I actually had to start W this game, even though I would usually start E versus Zilean to dodge out those bombs. So notice here straight away though. Notice how I'm sitting in the middle of the wave. When I get hit by a bomb, I want Zilean to push to me. I don't want the wave to be pushing out to Zilean at all, because then it's going to get quite sketchy. I want Zilean to push me in. I want to catch minions under tower, and then I want to push it out. Or I want to keep it frozen outside my tower to set up ganks. Either of them are better than pushing. So every single time I get hit by a bomb, I'm going to be sitting it in the middle of the wave to make sure that it's pushing towards my side. Like this, I get hit, bang, and look at this. I walk it to my back 3 range creeps just to ensure that it is going to push towards me here. So nothing too special. Again, the same thing as Fizz. You want to be ideally getting towards your level 3, because that's when you're going to be able to take a little bit more aggressive trades. So I've got the wave in a decent position. I think it's just going to crash either. I think it just crashes into my tower here, or it stays just outside. Let's see what happens. So it just stays just outside, which this is perfect. You thin the wave quite a bit so he can't poke me too much. I'm able to just CS quite patiently, get to my level 3. Looking good so far. So the one criticism of Zilean so far is I actually think that he should have been less focused on poking me and more focused on making sure that wave was slow building and crashing into tower. I feel like he could have done a better job than that, but he was focused too much on poking me. I feel like he could have focused poking me when it was kind of under the tower and he had a side to lean on, because I still would have been level 2, but not a big deal. Because now it's actually not the best for him right now. And actually ping here that he warded the top side because he leaned into that top side bush and it's poor, so I know that he warded. But now it's just been stuck in this position. I've been able to thin the wave too much, and he hasn't really got too much poke onto me. And I haven't even used any of my corrupting pots yet. Now I just use one. Now, because I've pinged where the ward location is, Lissandra's able to avoid that ward. He's able to get behind him. I've still got the wave in a really, really good spot here. He's quite overextended in the lane. Like this. And Lissandra's able to come behind, get a little bit of trade onto him, and blow his flash. And I'm assuming that he flashed so prematurely because he didn't want to take a big chunk and stay in this lane until he had enough gold for tier or something like that. That's why he probably just flashed and it's like, I'm just going to accept reality. I blew my flash. I'm just going to conserve a bunch of my my HP and my mana. So what does this mean for me? Straight away I'm thinking, well, he has no flash. He's quite weak. I'm quite healthy. But the only problem is here, I know that Rengar started on red, and I know that he's going to be in this bot river at the moment. Like, I know Rengar's going to be there. So, by the way Zilean is playing in my mind, I'm like, well, my Lee Sin's on Raptors. If I trade aggressively on this guy and Rengar's just sitting in the bush, it's going to be a little bit sketchy. So, I actually play a little bit patient. I wait for Lee Sin to finish his Raptors. So, he's on his Raptors still. And then when I see Lee Sin start to finish up his Raptors, then I start to trade aggressively on Zilean. Now Lee Sin finishes it. Now look at this. Now I just Q onto him, knowing that Lee Sin, if Lee Sin's around, we can win this 2v2. So then I Q onto him, and I get a nice little trade. End up killing him because he's overextended in the lane. Now I'm able to back up Lee Sin for this river skirmish. And we end up flash on him and get another little kill. Nice little double kill. So let's go back here and let's see how this happened. So what's the biggest mistake we're seeing from Zilean right here? Well, if we actually assess my wave, it's actually going to be slow pushing out to Zilean. He has no flash. He has to accept reality that it's too dangerous for him. But I can actually nearly guarantee you that Rengar's actually sitting in this bush, telling him to keep mid pushed, or edging him on to keep mid push, so they can actually get this bot scuttle. But the problem is for him, he doesn't want this bot scuttle river fight because he's a Zilean with no flash versus a Fizz, So what Zilean had to do was actually ping Rengar back, tell Rengar to go to topside scuttle or something, and then let me get the push on me, let Fizz get the push for a little bit because there's too much kill threat. And notice here, I guarantee you that's why Zilean's playing the way it is because Rengar's right there. And then, because I'm playing quite slow, he thinks I'm not going to go in on him. He thinks it's warded or something. And then when I know Lee Sin's in the area, ready to respond, knowing he's going to walk into river and can back me up and counter gank, then I go for the kill. And then Rengar was really, really close in that area. Already had started the scuttle. I get the kill, and this is what leads to the 2v2 kill. So, again, very simple, fundamental lane mechanics. Processing the bits of information to create the grounds for success. Create the grounds for snowballing. So now I come back. So what should we see from Zilean? Ideally, he should actually try and want to keep me in lane, but not take too much damage. Because if he knows that his jungler's dead, Lee Sin's in the area, and he knows that if he wants, he doesn't want to take too much damage because he wants to now stay in lane for quite a while. So what I'm doing is I know that my Lee Sin's nearby and can back me up. Lee Sin, Zilean didn't respect enough, is heavy trading with me, and I'm completely fine to heavy trade because I'm just going to recall after this wave anyway. And I know Lee Sin's there to back me up if this gets extended, but I'm happy to trade aggressively like this. I'm just trading my HP for the wave. Then he gets too crazy, Zilean overextends too much, and ends up getting punished for it. So this is, again, Zilean not understanding, using the information. He knows Lee Sin's in the area because he was just getting scuttled. He knows he doesn't have flash, and he knows I need to reset. So, and he knows he shouldn't be trading HP like that because he just come off a reset. Anyway, it is what it is, but now this game is a really good game to review to say how I snowball. How do I actually snowball this game? Fast forwarding, I get my Hextech Revolver and work towards my Sork, so I just get my tier 1 boots. I time mid flash, 8-15 mid, 8-15 mid, 8-15 mid. Come back looking at the side lanes. Which side lane do I think I have the most kill threat? It's definitely not top because Mordekaiser is extremely hard to kill, but it's most likely going to be bot. So what do? I walk into river like this, and I put my pink ward in the dot river bush. So this is going to allow us to control bot river. It's going to create a lot of threat onto the Zilean, and it's also going to create bot threat onto bot lane when I roam into bot river. A few things to note here, guys. I don't have ultimate. I don't have ultimate yet, and I don't have ignite. This wave is also slow pushing into me. So what do I want to do for the time being? Ideally, I want to kind of keep it outside my tower, so I need to thin this wave a little bit. So I'm trying to thin the wave a little bit without taking too much damage. And I know that my jungler is not in position. I know that I can't actually trade in this big minion wave. So what do I actually try to do? I try to pull the wave here a little bit. I get a few of these minions, and I try to pull the wave because I really want to keep it outside my tower, ideally. So I thin it. But the wave actually gets a little bit too close and too big. Unfortunately, Lee Sin's going for a kill on bot, not looking to set up a kill on mid, so it's unfortunate. So Zilean's able to kind of get the wave in. Because what I was thinking in my mind was, okay, if I can keep this wave frozen, and why I thought why the freeze in my mind was a great play, because I know I'm going to get level 6 before this guy. I know he doesn't have flash, and I know he won't be able to defend himself. If I keep the wave here, I can Q through one of these minions, then hit an ult onto him, chase him down and kill him. Even without ignite, I think I can still 100 to 0 him, combo him. I think. That was my plan in my mind anyway. So now, given that plan failed and he's crashed the wave, I either want to now walk into river and potentially look for a dive bot, knowing that I'm level 6 now. My ignite's coming up in 20 seconds, so I start hovering into bot river, knowing that they're trading quite aggressively. So I look at minion wave, I look at my minion wave to check if it's a cannon wave, but it wasn't, which automatically now is a next bit. It's a little bit of information to help me create the next play. I don't have much time because Zilean can clear my wave very quickly, but since bot is just respecting, they don't need me to go for that kill. I just go straight back mid. So what do I see now? I know now that I'm level 6. He's not going to get level 5 for a little bit longer. My ignite is coming in 10 seconds. So now, look at this. I play very patiently. I could have all-in'd him whenever I want here, but I choose to wait for my ignite. I'm waiting. I'm waiting for 4, 3, 2, 1. I ult in. Ignite. Now my ult's up. Perfect timing. Auto attack, out, kill. Again, perfect timing, assessing my cooldowns, assessing the summoner situation, assessing my vision. I know Rengar, if Rengar can't be on bot side. I know that he's not going to have level 6 that he can't kill me. I know bot lane's not going to be in position to counter gank this. It's in, and this is, again, there's no special recipe, guys. It's all the same as the first game. It's just understanding how do you set up kills. It's the wave position, it's the jungle location, it's the vision location, it's understanding your cooldowns, it's understanding the kill threat. It's all these little things, guys. So I hope it's starting to make a little bit more sense after watching this video. Again, I get my Sork boots because, again, I want to be roaming. But now my ultimate's down. So fast forwarding a little bit, I'm assessing the side wave situation. Mordekaiser's low, but I still don't really want to be using my resources on this Mordekaiser. So again, I need to just chill a little bit here. 30 seconds on my ultimate. They just got dragon. We have no river control. Unfortunately, I didn't have enough gold for a pink, which is a bit of a bummer. But I know I don't have ignite, don't have ult. I just need to chill a little bit. I'm happy to keep the wave in my position for a little bit. And again, this is how you identify what to do with your wave. What to do with your wave and how you control your character, what ability you use, how you use your abilities, how heavy you want to trade, how much HP do you want to trade. It all ties down to the identity and your game plan. And how do you identify your game plan? It ties directly into your kit, your champion's kit. Fizz is a roamer and an assassin. Do I have the tools to assassinate? Yes or no? No. So I need to play safe. I need to wait. I need to create the conditions for me where I can assassinate someone, guys. It's all about tying it back into that identity, tying it back into that. So I'm playing quite safe, looking to kind of get a little bit of vision, check if there's any pink wards. What I actually wanted to do, I love doing this, is just walk into river here to check what's going on, hover onto bot side, clear pink wards if possible. I actually tried to get the scuttle here, but I knew Zilean was trying to steal it as well. And I was like, okay, scuttle, no! And it goes, just Zilean steals. I'm like, oh, god damn it, man. So again, clearing pink wards, constantly trying to create threat onto this bot lane. And now they have scuttle, it actually made my job quite a lot harder. But since mid-wave was quite a big wave, and it was a cannon wave, I believe. Let me see. Yeah, it was a cannon wave. I knew Zilean would take a while, and I just want to deny their bot lane all this CS, because I see my bot lane built a wave, and if I just roam and walk over this scuttle, they're going to have to respect big time. So they lose all this, their bot lane loses all this farm. I knew that I had time to do this, because I'm not going to lose anything mid, because look at this, the wave's still pushing in. And maybe I'll lose 1 or 2 creeps, but not a big deal. Their bot lane loses like 2 waves and like 2 plates. So I'm like, alright, cool. Worthy trade, guys. And I come back, collecting waves. And now my ignite's coming in 30 seconds. My ultimate's up. I can start to potentially play a little bit more aggressive at the moment. So just fast forwarding. Just a touch. Getting the wave. So I can't really all in this Zilean anymore. He has ultimate. It's quite difficult for me to do anything, so I just have to just play for the wave at this point in time. And again, notice how just because I want to play for the wave doesn't mean I just play like a bitch. I want to force him back. I want to use my abilities on him, force him to use abilities on me quite a lot, because then he's not going to be focusing his abilities on the minion wave, which gives me time to do things. So now I'm just backing up my team a little bit. So now what I'm thinking is, okay, great. My bot lane has broken bot tower. This is a bit of a weird play. I wouldn't recommend this. Ideally, what we should have done is actually Caitlyn should have just reset and then me go on the side lane and they go back mid. But what Caitlyn wanted to do was continue to stay for a little bit more gold for her Storm Razor. So we end up setting up this dive on bot lane, which wasn't a good play since Zilean has teleport. I actually originally in my mind for some reason thought it was Mordekaiser teleport, so I completely forgot Zilean could just resurrect Ezreal, but it is what it is. And it's a skip forward, a little bit sloppy here, but I want to fix these lane assignments. So I go back mid, catch one mid wave because Caitlyn was coming out of base quite slow. And now this is where it's starting to get in. It was actually, because the game was quite stompy, starting to get into the mid game quite early on now that the towers are breaking. So now I want to be in the side lane. So what did this mean for me? I want to catch this wave, and I want to force Zilean in a side wave. I want to force Zilean to catch a wave in bot. Because then if Zilean is catching a wave bot at this tier 2, I'm drawing on the minimap here. If I push this all the way out, Lee Sin's hovering me, controlling bot river with me, bot jungle with me, then this time where I have to walk between here while Zilean's catching waves under tower, then I can set up a dive mid or exert enough pressure where Caitlyn's going to be able to poke the tower and be able to break mid tower. My goal in my mind is I need to snowball this game. How do I snowball this game? It's not just kills, it's actually towers. And especially this mid tower. I want to break this mid tower. And the way you break this mid tower, if Zilean doesn't show, so Zilean doesn't come to the side lane, then they're going to be getting so far behind that it doesn't matter. So let's see, I push this side wave out. I'm constantly pushing the side wave out. Zilean actually dies, so I'm just constantly pushing it out, fast forwarding. And now what do? Instead of hitting the bot lane tower, I'm exerting my pressure mid. I'm just hovering out of vision. They don't know what I'm doing, so they have to respect a little bit. But since we all want to reset for this dragon that's coming up in 30 seconds, I just recall as well with the Lee Sin for my proto belt. Rinse, repeat, same thing. I don't need to go straight into the side lane here because the minions just died to the tier 2 tower. I don't need to go to the side lane yet. I need to just go mid first. So if I don't need to go to the side wave, just go mid first. Make that your default response. Now, because Caitlyn's basing, I can catch a wave for her and make sure that we constantly have push and mid so we can prepare for this dragon that just spawned. So fast forwarding, I play for the wave, and I want to move into bot river here, guys, because this is the objective we want to play for. I want to be in this area. And ideally, for Fizz, you want to be coming in from the side. So how do you come in from the side? Having a side push, this little area, this side wave here, and then coming in this way is going to generate threats so they can't walk in through these entrances because they know I'm going to be coming in from the back end. So this is why shoving the side wave is also important on champs like Fizz because it's going to allow you backline access. So now when I see Ezreal in the side lane, because Zilean doesn't want to lose mid, this is exact same for so many champions. Like, if you verse any control mage mid, they don't want to match you on the side. So what actually happens is their AD carry is forced to catch waves in the side lane, who also loses to you. So then they all start giving pressure, and then you move your vision line up. You can get way more farm than them. You can start getting on the flanks, and then you can start snowballing like this. So now, because I've got this side wave, they can't walk up in anywhere near the river because I'm just going to have complete backline access. And I'm constantly shoving like this. And again, I'm not just grouping mid here. I want to make sure that they're constantly reacting to sides mid. They're constantly reacting to waves in the side. So then I can move in from behind and generate threat. So Ezreal's here stuck in the side with Lulu. Lulu's trying to protect this Ezreal. I place my pink wards in the river so I can transition my pressure like this. And now I'm just hovering in the side in the vision that we've set up beforehand. And what I really want to do now is ideally force the Zilean ult, which is going to allow us to have a lot more threat and potentially break this mid tower, which is the goal. Because once this mid tower breaks, all hell breaks loose. So now I come in from behind, land an ultimate on Zilean, and I try to just blow the ult now, which actually allows Caitlyn to finish her off, place traps beneath her feet. We end up bursting the Zilean, and then this allows us to actually get mid tower. Rengar comes, he can't do anything to me, just E it, and then we end up killing Rengar on the back end. So notice, this whole time, Ezreal hasn't been able to attend any of these fights because Ezreal's chilling at this tier 2, and Ezreal still is too scared to walk through the jungle because Ezreal doesn't know where I am. I could be sitting in the blue buff. I could be sitting near that Gromp. I could be right here looking to dive mid. Ezreal doesn't know what I'm doing, and that's why Ezreal was stuck in the side wave. And now this is creating insane man advantage. It's creating and now it's making it a lot easier for me to get flanks, and it's making it a lot easier for us to break this mid tower and me to get backline access, which then ends up turning into a really favorable situation. And again, as this game fast forwards, notice that again, I'm always in the side lane, pushing out the side lane, constantly walking through the jungle. I actually swapped to sweeper at this point in the game because I'm constantly looking for flanks. I'm pushing the side and looking for flanks. If I wasn't playing this style of Fizz where I wasn't confident in pushing out the sides, I would not go sweeper. I'll just stay with Vision Trinket or a Oracle, the blue one. And again, the same thing. Look what I'm doing. Rinse, repeat. Now Rengar's forced to catch wave side because Zilean doesn't want to do it, which a lot of mid laners won't. I come in and I'm burning Zilean's flash just like that. I'm getting all these incremental advantages for my team just by being in the right position. And now I end up nearly getting 3 levels up on this Zilean this game because Zilean refused to catch sideways, which is completely understandable because I can just dive Zilean whenever I want. So I play for my blue buff, again, same thing, playing for the side lane, pushing and moving. And the main reason that I'm allowed to do this, and you may ask, guys, oh, but when I do this, my team just gets engaged on and dies. I'm doing this with, okay, so how do you decide what to do in terms of mid-game? If I was versing a Malphite or maybe like I was versing a Leona or a Nautilus and my team was an immobile champion, maybe I had like a Karma Ashe or something, I wouldn't just go straight into the side lane like this. I would probably come mid first, set up my vision, then move to the side wave, knowing that they have space and vision to see the threats coming from a long distance, which is going to allow me to shove out the side wave a little bit more safely. Yes, I would probably group a lot more if they had a lot more engage, but this team, we had Leona Caitlyn who was super far ahead. The only engage they had was Rengar, and Rengar's behind. So there's nothing they can do. They have Ezreal, Lulu, and a Zilean. They have no engage. So I can just freely play the side lane. We can set up this 1-3-1, and there's nothing they can do. It's all about adapting to the game set, adapting to the champions that are in the game, and creating your game plan based off all the pieces of information that you're seeing. And again, look at this. Shoving the side wave, sweeping on the way through, creating threat. And I get a little bit antsy here. Actually, oh, so this was my second mistake this game, I believe. So I actually didn't know they rifted bot, and I was thinking, wait, I thought they were just going to siege bot without rift, but now that because they rifted, they actually broke it a lot earlier than I thought, which means that I should have been here to back them up. And because I wasn't here to back them up, they're able to take this 5v5, 5v4 fight because I'm not there, and it ends up being quite sketchy. I try to ping them back, but it's not enough, and then end up getting chased down. So this was actually my first mistake this game. I should have just ended up creeping. But fast forwarding a little bit here in this game, again, the same thing, 1-3-1ing, looking to push the side waves, clear vision with my sweeper. And you may ask, how do I snowball this game? I'm constantly looking for picks in vision, pushing this tower, which is going to allow us to slowly break these towers, fast forwarding just a touch again. And then what you do, look at this. This is exactly what will happen in your games. You push out the side wave, a fight will break out around mid because they'll get frustrated, and this is where you get backline access. Now I'm completely behind their 80 carry. I end up completely messing this up, messing up my ultimate, because I thought I had the surprise factor. I thought he wouldn't be able to respect, but we end up blowing Lulu ult, Zilean ult, his flash heal, which then just gives us a free Baron. Like that, bang. Nothing they can do. So it's not about kills a lot of the time when you play these assassins. It's about the threat that you're actually posing on the enemy, which is going to create incremental leads for your team. So we get this Baron and we end up ending the game. So what we're going to do is finish one. We're going to do one last VOD, and this is going to be a Qiyana game, and hopefully round out and summarize a lot of the key points. So keep watching, guys. So this game was a Qiyana versus Vel'Koz, which can be a little bit tricky if you don't play well, because obviously he can just build Arm Guard or Zhonya's and just ignore you. But what made this game quite difficult was because they had the Lee Sin, and I had the Hecarim, which means we actually have really weak early game. Lee Sin's going to be able to control the river, and it's going to be very hard for me to find opportunities to all in this Vel'Koz. Notice here, why was I, again, wanting toward level 1? Because I know Vel'Koz is going to shove me early levels. I'm not going to have that ability to get a ward out into river, or I don't need to push out, get a ward at level 3 to help me poke on the tower or anything. So, given that I'm versing a Lee Sin, I have a Hecarim, he can potentially get invaded using Vel'Koz's priority that he's going to get. So I end up wanting to, or that he can get late invaded. So I end up putting a ward down here to protect my jungler. So this is a good habit to get into, assess straight from level 1. And so I know that Vel'Koz is going to get hard priority like he's doing, just Wing the wave. Not much I can do. So I just need to minimize again. Similar to Fizz, you just need to get to level 3. And my first objective after I get, second objective, sorry, after I get to level 3 is I really want to get to Moby. So I want to get to ideally 900 gold. Once I get to 900 gold, I get Mobies. I can start to impact the map or be a little bit more creative with what I want to do. So in this lane, levels 1 and 2, there's really not much I can do. I just need to minimize. I need to get to my level 3, take as little damage as possible while getting as much CS as possible. Sometimes you can do this again by using Grass Q at level 2. Grass Q can sometimes give you a little bit of safety, but I play too aggressive here and take a Q to the face, which is unnecessary. So I don't do the best job at CS because I was trying to really stay healthy, but not too bad. I think we're actually pretty close to even CS. Getting closer to my level 3. Well, not much advantage has been created. I've only used one corrupting pot. So nothing too special happening so far. I'm pretty happy with how it is. So a lot of Qiyana matchups, generally at level 3, you can start to potentially all in them because you have that level 3 advantage. But why didn't I do it this game? Well, what I was scared of is that I don't know where Zilean is. From 2 minutes 40 onwards, Zilean can be active in the river. And given that, you know, we're not in low elo anymore, this is, we're actually versing this specific game, I think a diamond 2 or low mid diamond. So junglers are a lot, they know how to abuse their early strength. I knew that if I was scared of if I was to go in, Lisin could be there and my Hecarim's ganking top and not really anywhere near ready to respond. So I had to just kind of accept reality that I'm not going to be able to punish his Vel'Koz as much as I would. If I would have an Elise or Lisin myself or a Jarvan or any of these champions or an Olaf or whatever, things would be a little different. Now Lisin shows bot, so then I start to go all in on this guy and trying to trade a little bit of HP on him, but he backs up a little bit. I get a bit of a trade, blow one of his health pots, so... but again, I'm using the information on the map. I'm using the location of the junglers. I'm using all this information to guide my decision making. My jungler's location, my early jungler strength, their early jungler strength, their jungler's location, my vision. What do I see? And again, that will dictate what you want to do in the lane. So again, I really want to continue this style of laning where if I don't know where Lisin is, I want to play quite safely. I want to lean onto the top side quite a bit here, knowing that Lisin's on bot side river. And I want to get to my 900 gold, ideally. Because once you get Mobies, the game will just open up. Here I lean too far again through on the bot side, but I kind of sweep back onto the other side, lean towards my jungler, and it's not the end of the world here. Take a bit of chunk, but again, I still got my corrupting pots, fast forwarding just a touch. Things are looking okay. I'm kind of survived this early laning phase. I've blown both of Vel'Koz's summoners. We're about equal CS. And yes, I haven't been able to punish him too hard, but I think considering the jungle matchup, considering my lack of vision control in the early game, I think I've navigated it not too bad. I'm actually up in CS, sorry. So fast forwarding, this laning phase gets a little bit extended. Then Lisin shows bot again here. So what I was actually trying to do is I really kind of wanted to chase this guy down the long lane. If I was a better Qiyana, I would have used that W to dodge that E and potentially even chunked him out here. Look at this. So I know now... I want the wave's in a really good spot where I can potentially look to all in him down the lane here. Maybe blow his barrier. Now Lisin shows bot, so now's my go time. So what do? He uses his abilities. I walk up, use the thing, the ice, water Q, whatever to root him. Then I should have used the other W here to dodge out of this and then kite him down, continue auto attack, auto attack, auto attack. Q, maybe he blows his barrier, maybe I have to, whatever. I ideally wouldn't want to use my ignite because I want that for level 6, but because I failed that all in and got hit by that E, now the wave's in a bit of an awkward spot. And this is the difference between having different junglers. Vel'Koz is able to now, you know, even though he's really low here, there's no way he should be able to stay like this, but he knows he's versing a Hecarim who's really weak ganks early. He knows Lisin's hovering him, has that early strength, he feels comfortable. This is what's a little bit annoying about these early junglers, but it is what it is. And now Lisin again is hovering, I know that for a fact. He places a ward there, and again, I just have to accept reality, maybe lose 3 or 4 creeps, and just back up for my Mobies. I think I'll probably even lose a wave. It is what it is, I can't do anything about that. And then I actually tie, when I'm 6, I can roam bot. So I come back to lane, got my Mobies. Another tip here, swap to your Earth Q and actually hover these ledges on the way through, because when you're near your terrain, you get extra movement speed. That's something that can help you out on the way back to lane. So bot's just trading kill for kill. No one's real getting an advantage. Draven did get a double kill, but it was a pretty sloppy 2v2 bot. Like, it was very back and forth. So my intention here was to try and... Okay, so what I actually did here is I actually thought I could get this wave in before the next wave was going to come, but I actually misjudged. But I wasn't too completely fussed on Vel'Koz freezing, because if Vel'Koz freezes, I just completely get to freely roam, so I'm not actually completely too stressed about it. So I actually pan my camera here, guys. I pan my camera top. And... because I know there's no really play bot since their bot got double killed, and I see Riven quite low. So I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna just, even though I'm not 6, I wouldn't usually do this. I'm gonna lean topside and see what happens. I place my pink there just to make sure there's no wards. I place another deep ward there, and I'm like, what? You know what? The waves, I've still got a bit of time mid here, and actually what I do is I pan my camera top again in a second, and I see he's quite low. So I'm like, you know what? I think we can actually kill this guy. But one thing I did not account for is I didn't account for the little bit of health he got from that health pot. I didn't account for the fact that now he ends up hitting 6 off of those few minions, and then he's too healthy. We can't go for this kill anymore. So, you know, people ask me all the time in Discord, guys, like, how do I learn better? How do I actually improve? This was a skill that I had to develop for a long time, is understanding or assessing kill threat, my kill threat in the side lane, and I still mess up. But I would still rather go for it, even if I'm unsure, because then I can look at my VOD and be like, you know what, Curtis, there wasn't kill threat. Oh, what made this not work? Oh, sorry, I didn't account for the fact that he's going to hit level 6 soon, and I know he's going to hit level 6 soon because Mordekaiser was 6. I didn't account for the fact that he had a pot ticking, a health pot ticking. These are the things that now I can go into my review, go into the next game, and I'm actually learnt. That's going to increase my ability to assess kill threat assessment in my next games. But if I were to just sit mid, I never would have known, and I never would have improved on my kill threat assessment. So then I just have to back up here. I don't end up going for this kill, and yes, Vel'Koz ends up getting the wave, denying me a bit of CS, which was quite actually a big mistake on my behalf. But it is what it is, and this is how I improve at the game. I make these 50-50 calls, and I learn from them. I do my review. Vel'Koz ends up killing my jungler somehow. It is what it is again. And I shouldn't even went on them there. It's not a good area to go all in, because I don't know where their jungler is. That's what I realized after 8. I'm like, oh shit, Lissandra could be here, so I just chill. Now, as Qiyana, it's the exact same as Fizz. You're a lion in the savannah. You have this amazing burst damage. You have your ultimate. You have your ignite. You want to be very, very careful about how you use it. And the way the way I like to think about it is, if you use your ult and your ignite and you don't get a kill on your first one, your game is going to be completely screwed. It's the exact same with TF. If you use your first ultimate and you don't get a kill, you're going to be completely screwed. So what I'm thinking in my mind is, okay, who's the target here? How am I going to get this kill? Sometimes you just have to be patient. My jungler just died. We have no bot river control. I'm kind of stuck in lane for the time being. This Vel'Koz actually itemized first item seekers and took barrier. So I know it's going to be quite difficult for me to go for a kill on this Vel'Koz for quite a while. So and the biggest mistake I see with Qiyana players or assassin players, and especially when they climb, is that they're not patient. They go all in all the time. They fail their all-ins, and then they get outscaled. So now, again, this is an opportunity that creates itself in solo queue. People don't play perfectly. I played patient. I'm able to capitalize, pick up a kill on the back end, kill this Lee Sin. And I didn't even have to use my ult or ignite, which is beautiful. So I'm actually only around 8 CS behind this Vel'Koz. Not the end of the world. He's a little bit up in XP, but it is what it is. He ends up recalling, because I'm assuming he has not much mana. So I end up using this opportunity to get the next wave and recall myself for a dagger. What's that called again? Serrated Dirk? Yes, Serrated Dirk. So now, again, what am I... notice how I click tab. I click tab here to assess who is stacking armor. Who has defensives? Who has summoners? What are their itemizations? Lee Sin's gone full squishy. Top, I'm assuming, took MR because they're versing Mordekaiser and has no armor, no HP, or not much HP at all. Has a Doran's. Then Jin, no defensives, and Nami has gone Athene. So I'm pretty confident that I can actually one-hit a lot of these people. So that's what I'm thinking in my mind. I still have Ignite. I still have my ultimate. I still have a lot of opportunities to all in. So again, I got to wait for my opportunity. I got to play patient here. So I end up just catching this wave under tower. Nothing too special. I lean in between the waves. So look at this. In between the waves like this, I like to walk into river to pink and feint pressure. This is going to allow my bot lane to play quite aggressively. And again, it's just a good habit to get into. Now I've set up the vision that it's going to allow, actually make me quite more scary in lane, because Vel'Koz is scared to push up because we've denied vision on bot side. He overextended too much in the lane. I wait for the opportunity. Bang, we all in him and we kill him on the back end like that. So again, these opportunities create themselves by being quite patient, and doing the right things. I didn't end up expecting Vel'Koz to do this. What I was actually expecting was, okay, I was quite happy to just play for side lanes, leave this Vel'Koz completely, put my pink wards on bot side, and just continually to roam bot, set up dragons. Because if we played for dragons, Vel'Koz can't walk into river because we can 100 to 0. We didn't even have to go for this kill, but Vel'Koz actually opened him up himself to dying. So this is, again, what will happen in solo queue. People don't play perfectly, but even if this didn't happen, we were still sowing the seeds for success by doing the right things, and I was playing quite smart, controlled, calculated. So we get we get that kill. I tried to lean topside, but Riven just backs off. Like, notice what I do here. So I lean out of vision topside, and this must have been warded because I see how he plays. Riven just backs off, and then I just reset. So now, potentially I'm out of vision. Riven has to reset. Can't get the wave in now that his wave's actually completely screwed, and I just recall. I always love to go this Umbral Blade for the vision clearing item, so I'm working towards that. Out of base again. I'm never just pathing straight back to lane. I'm always assessing. Notice how I look at my path on the minimap. I path this way just in case these guys greed for a plate or something. I'm going to be there to respond. It's always a good habit to get into when you're playing assassins is, yes, I don't have ultimate, I don't have ignite, but if they do overextend for a plate here, I know my jungler's here, we can potentially look for a pick, but they respect, so I just go straight back mid. And this is the benefit of going Mobies. You have that creative freedom to set up so many of these plays because you're so quick. And also the movement speed from the terrain you're in, and you know, these scuttles, all these things, you're just making yourself super, super quick. Again, I need to wait for my ultimate. I need to wait before we go for another play. Otherwise, you know, it's not going to be looking good. So I'm just playing quite patient here. Looks like we're pinging onto this Lee Sin. I really didn't want this play. So I think he just backs up here. And again, I wasn't completely a big fan of that play because I didn't have ultimate. Again, I got to play quite slow and controlled here. Not take too much damage when I'm not looking to all in. And if I take too much damage here, try to trade HP for HP, I'm not really going to get any lead because then when I do want to go for a play, I'm not going to be healthy. I'm not going to be able to go for that roam. So that's why I always try and like to stay as healthy as possible in lane, even if it comes at the cost of sacrificing a bit of CS here. And again, because we've got the pink ward set up on one side of the map, I play quite patient. Hecarim's pinging his ultimate in 10 seconds, so we're just waiting for that. And again, this is the strength, setting up that vision. And this is when you play these mid-majors like Vel'Koz, it's so hard for Vel'Koz to walk into river and control pinks and have vision in river because they lose 2v2. You're versing a Qiyana Hecarim now who can just absolutely shred you 100-0. You have no mobility. There's nothing you can do. So Vel'Koz has to just accept reality. And then again, not much she can do. Vel'Koz can do. Chase her down. I don't even need to ultimate. And he dies. Again, fast forwarding just a touch. Again, reset, get my Umbral Blade. Same thing, rinse, repeat. So this is where you need to be looking to get creative as Qiyana and as assassins in general. I got the wave in because I had tempo on this Vel'Koz. I saw that their red buff was coming up. It had the grey icon. So what I actually wanted to do, I knew Lee Sin was going to be still squishy. I know I have my ult, I have my ignite. I can look for 100 to 0 on this guy. So I walked deep into the jungle over the pink wards that we've set up in the river. I put a ward on the red. I actually want Hecarim to come and set up a kill onto this dude. I think this is so free. But for some reason he decides to do dragon. I'm like, wait, dude, this is so free. But he ends up going for the dragon. Lee Sin doesn't come for a while. Maybe he was doing another camp or something. And I'm like, okay, well, given that they're looking potentially to walk into river or walk through here to get vision, I can maybe look to 100 to 0 on this Vel'Koz. But then what happens, I look for 100 to 0. I mess up my combo just a touch here. But the problem is Lee Sin just appeared as I went all in. So Lee Sin ends up hitting and nailing a Q on me and killing me, which is unfortunate. If Lee Sin wasn't there, maybe I could have gone for the kill or cleaned up this kill on the back end. But not good. So the takeaway for me in this game was because we can't do two things at once. We can't look for a pick, we can't invade the red, and we can't do dragon at the same time. It's either one or the other. Ideally, what I should have been doing, Hecarim pull out the dragon a little bit. I just sit over here or over here. Or potentially, actually, this bush is the best. And then if they walk into river here, I can just slam them against this wall and kill them. And then maybe after we can look for an invade onto this red or whatever. This was just a bit greedy from me, too much at once. But this is the sort of thing that you want to be doing as Qiyana or Fizz or whatever, is looking for these creative plays with your strength. And now this is a massive, massive loss for me. I don't have ultimate, I don't have ignite, I don't have flash, and I didn't get anything for it. I blew barrier, but that was really, really bad for me. And this is the biggest mistake I see assassin players do, one of the biggest mistakes, sorry, is that they, again, when you use your abilities like this and you don't get a kill and it's not calculated, you get into trouble, because now Vel'Koz can scale up. He's going to be able to poke you. You have no threat for such a long time now. This window where Vel'Koz knows I don't have ultimate, he can play completely freely. He can poke me knowing that, and maybe even get vision control back, knowing I have no threat. So fast forwarding a little bit, I just have to play quite defensively until my ultimate that comes up. So I play defense for quite a while. And then in between waves, when I realize I've got my ultimate, a skirmish breaks out. I kill Lissandra on the back end. Nothing too special here, guys. Fast forwarding it just a touch. End up losing mid tower because I roam too much. But fast forwarding, I want to get to the nitty gritty here. Things that you can actually execute in your own games. So, what's important here, guys? Dragon was coming up, right? So everyone wanted to wrestle for control. This is a very common circumstance that happens in games in solo queue. The jungle and the support will try and walk in with the mid laner through mid, and then they'll try and get control. I know that. I know they want to do this because we've set up the vision before. We swept it. We've got our pink wards. We know what they're going to be doing. So I sit in this side brush here. I know they're going to be walking into river. And again, they're in a bad spot. Bang. Get the ultimate off. We 100-0 this Nami on the back end. And then this is going to allow us to get a free dragon. We chunk out the Lee Sin. All's looking good. These are the sorts of plays you need to be assessing. Where are people going to go? And you know where people are going to go based off the objectives on the map. I know everyone wants to contest this dragon. And so it's pretty self-explanatory there. We get that nice little kill. I shove out the sideways because the exact same thing. I want to be shoving out the sides and coming from an opposite angle. I don't want to be just grouping front on with the team. And now, because we've got that control like we had before, we're able to secure this dragon. And now I ideally want to reset. And now do the exact same thing as I did in the Fizz game. Go to the side lane. And this is where the game completely changes. I go mid first, get a little bit of control because I don't need to completely respond to this side wave yet, which is going to help my Draven mid. And then I start to go to the side wave. I get this scuttle on the way through. And this is where you get advantages versus mid lane mages. It's the same when you verse Orianna, Vel'Koz, Victor, whatever. This is where Qiyana's prime time. When the towers are breaking, it's getting into mid game. Someone has to match you in the side lane. This is where Qiyana really, really thrives because he can push the side lane and move. And now I actually couldn't push out this Riven 1v1. So what do? I set up the vision. I ping on Riven here. Because I've set up the vision for Hecarim to walk through, I've already got those pink wards in river. Riven's quite overextended. Even though Lee Sin's hovering him, it doesn't even matter. We get the nice little kill there as well. It's all these little things that kind of make up the kills and make up all these plays. So again, same thing. I push it out deep. And we end up getting Baron because we've got full river control. We've got the picks down. And it starts getting out of control. After Baron here, again, I go straight to a side lane, push it all the way out, knowing that Vel'Koz can't respond to me. Either two things are going to happen. Vel'Koz is going to catch waves at tier 2, or he's going to stay mid, in which they're going to lose a bunch of CS in the side wave, and then I'm going to be able to collapse from a different angle and kill them like I do here. I shove out the side. I see Vel'Koz overextended mid. I come in from the side, losing all that farm in the side wave. He's overextended. Bang, flash. I don't even need to flash, bang, E. Ultimate kill. So again, self-explanatory, guys. So what I'm going to do, there's one last thing I wanted to show you guys in this VOD that I think is quite crucial and ends up being the defining factor in this game. Where is it? Here. Sorry, I actually went a little bit too far here. Where is it? Bear with me 1 second. Here it is. So now, I know we're playing towards Baron. It's the exact same with Dragons. They want to be able to walk in to this area. They want to be able to walk in, get vision control. So what do? I stand here knowing that they're going to walk through here given the objectives, and I can get a nice little 100-0 on this Nami, chunk the hell out of this Jhin on the back end, and then they just surrender. And it's just over. So again, it's the same thing. And in terms of other different positions, if you feel like your teams, if you want them to walk in further, you can always sit in this bush here, knowing that they're going to walk in through here. When they've committed, then you can come in from the side, or you can loop around here, whatever. It's all about being creative and not viewing it through like an analog very way. This is exactly what you have to do. Just be creative, free flow. So hopefully this helps, guys. Hopefully you get to see the mistakes of some of these high elo players that I verse. break down how I actually create my plan, how I push my lead once getting into mid game, how I very much play a very disciplined game when I play assassins and not just all go, 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 and yeah, playing it in accordance to my cooldowns and my summoners. So hopefully this guide really helps you guys climb all the way to diamond. I think it's a really, really good video for that. And if you want to play assassins rather than playing your Orianna, your Syndra, this is your go-to guide. So cheers. Thanks for watching.